Greetings, Glitter Gang, and happy Thursday. Welcome back to Kathryn Scraps Live. My name is Kathryn, and this is a continuation of the Coffin album. There is a playlist on YouTube for this album, as well as it's available in the archives. Basically what we're doing here is, this is a quick and easy album. Once you get the templates made, it's so easy. Just coffin-shaped pages, and then places to add photos. So what we're gonna do is, we've done one of the two large layouts, which is four coffins across. We have one more 4 coffin layout to do in terms of matting, and then we just have the back cover, the small coffin layout, 2 coffin layout. So we have one more 4 coffin layout, and then what we're going to do is we're going to like decorate all the pages once we're done with all of the matting. So before that though, just really quickly, I'm going to show you a really quick Christmas project that you can do with your scraps of paper. Now you can print your 13 by 19. For those of you who print your paper at home, you can print your 13 by 19 paper so that these will have, they won't be white, they'll be pattern paper. But this is a lucky star, a Japanese lucky star. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna tie your paper in a knot. So make a tail and then stick it through, okay? And your goal is to, I kind of push with my thumb, and then you can pull both of these, but you really want a small tail here, and then you want it to be as tight as possible. In the end, you want it to be the shape to be a pentagon. And the tighter you get this first pentagon, the better your star will be. All right. But you can't get it too tight. So ultimately, you're aiming for a pentagon. All right. Okay. So mine's very loose, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So then just fold this little flap over. No one will see it. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna fold this bottom piece up, and it will automatically kind of show you which side of the pentagon it wants to be folded to. I was making these for Marcel because he was terrorizing the office. So that's why I have these strips on my desk. And then your last tail, you're just gonna tuck it inside. Sometimes it's a little too long. If that's the case, you can just snip a little bit off and then tuck it in. All right, so now I have this pentagon shape, and it's gonna become a little puffy paper star like this. So you're gonna take 2 corners from one side, and you're gonna put them between your finger and your thumb, and you're gonna apply pressure on them. Okay, so you can see this is gonna, see how it starts to puff out when I apply pressure? Then take your other hand and push that in, okay? And then apply pressure, push it in, 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 and then you can just kind of pinch the sides if you want it to be more pointy, and then you have a little star. Now some of them are better than others, and this is all down to how tight you are in the beginning, okay? How tight you are in the beginning. So I have a little stack of paper strips and stars up here in case Marcel comes back. But he's been very energetic today. Very energetic. All right. So All right, so now we're going to go and find 2 more of the papers that we like the look of together to be on the front of these coffins. And then we'll go. So, in terms of an update on my brother is still in the hospital, but he's out of the ICU. So, still in the hospital, not in the ICU. So, you know, last week when I said pancreatitis was like serious business, no joke. I mean, you're getting an idea, I think, of, it just goes on and on and on. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. It's kind of crazy, All right, so I'm just trying to, make sure I have just these are just embellishments and not pattern papers, but there are some pattern papers in here, so. Things like these books, I'm just going to pull out things that are much kind of larger like that. So, but yeah, it's very slow going with the pancreatitis improvements, for sure. The pancreas is not something to mess around with. For an organ that I, you know, didn't know much about prior to this, it's definitely, you know, we've learned a lot about it. Doctors have all kinds of sayings about it. Like one of them is, God doesn't want you to touch the pancreas. That's why he put it in the back. Because, you know, like that's a saying that they have about it. And then just all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it is definitely the angriest organ in the body as far as I can tell. It's mad about something, for sure. It's mad about something. So, the biggest change in his condition is, since we last talked, is that he had a procedure on Monday to drain 5.5 liters of fluid from his abdomen that had collected because of pancreatic shenanigans, to try and take some pressure off the kidneys to process that fluid, because the kidneys kind of shut down as part of pretty common as a response to the pancreatitis, is that they just stop. And so his are coming back to online, coming back to life slowly but surely. But the problem is that the treatment for pancreatitis is to push fluids. And then, of course, a common thing that can happen when you have pancreatitis is that your kidneys don't function properly, so you can't push fluids. So, you know, it's definitely like they have to balance all this stuff, and it just takes a long, long, long time. So in the meantime, he's been having dialysis, but they think that he's finally to the point where he may not need to have dialysis anymore, and his kidneys may be able to do the rest of it on their own. So if that's the case, that would be great. All right, so I'm just checking for things with larger images. All right, so I think I've got my stacks made, But yeah, all I can say is your pancreas, as far as I can tell, is just like a ticking time bomb in the abdomen. I get messages from some people who have dealt with it themselves who confirmed that it's just the pits and feels terrible and goes on forever and all that. So, and like just one indication for how serious the disease is, a mild case of pancreatitis. So a typical mild case will usually involve a 5 to 10 day hospital stay. And unfortunately my brother has a severe case, so he's just moved in. He's just moved into the hospital. He's just moved in. It's his new house, his new address. So, all right. So, okay. All right. So I've got these more kind of basic papers, more background type papers, and here's some scraps from last week, and now we'll go through these and see what we want. So remember that this template is to help you kind of frame out what you might want for your coffin. So, you know, we could either have hands and key, or we could have like another coffin. So I don't know when he'll go home. But, you know, it's nice not being in the ICU for sure. I like this clock. This one we've already used. What I think we'll do is this clock that has music for the raven, and then here we actually have a raven. So I think we'll combine these two. And that's what we'll go with. All right. So yeah, we have no idea when he'll be able to go home, but not in the ICU anymore. And he can now do things like walk and stuff like that. So that's good as well. All right, so let's start with this one. All right. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use a pen so it's a little bit easier to see. All right, so there's that one. And then for this one, we just want to get as much of this music as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and come down here and do that. So I have done my nails. Now the spider, I don't know what to do. I think what we'll do with the spider is maybe cover that with something else, because trying to move the spider over is, well, you know what? Let me just cut the spider out. And then we'll either cover it with something else, or we'll do it. So Geneva, welcome. Glad you were able to catch us live. And then we had Hurricane Nicole. She just kind of blew past us, so we didn't really have an issue with her. Mostly to the north of us. And I'm just going to cut off all the little hairy bits of the spider. If I want to, I can draw those back in with a pen, but it would take too long to cut them all individually out. And then something is making my eyes really water the last few days, so I don't know what that's about, but so yes, I'm Kathryn. This show is a recording from a live show, and I am live Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time and 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. And we're going to be working on this Halloween project until it's done. So I can be a slow crafter at times. So Nicole's going to rain on you tomorrow. Now my sister's office lost power, so she has the afternoon off because she can't use my office. Today I said no. So, I mean, I let her use it this morning, but I told her she'd just have to have a half day. So, but then the office lost access to its server or something, so she can't even work from home anymore. So she's just got a day off from Nicole. Geneva, that's cool. So you made the Christmas in July already. Now you're working on Halloween for your sister. Excellent, excellent. Once you get the templates made, it's actually a real easy project, this one. So that's the hardest part. Once you've done that, you're all good. It's just picking the paper you like and having fun. Doing things like cutting out spiders, regretting it halfway through, but having already started cutting out the spider, you have to keep cutting out the spider. Wait, what did we do for Christmas? I already forgot. My brain has been utterly destroyed by the last couple months, to tell the truth. Between the real deal hurricane and everything with my brother and traveling back and forth and all of that. I had an eye doctor appointment yesterday and I just forgot. Just totally forgot. All right. So we cut out the spider. So what we want to just do is move it over enough that it's not just legs. So what we'll probably do is we'll just cut this out and then we'll place the spider. I love to decorate with the pattern paper itself when I can. Geneva, that's one of my things that I've always enjoyed doing. So okay. All right, so I'm pretty sure now that I'm just gonna cut out on the line that I just traced, and I don't really have to be perfect because I can straighten everything up with the trimmer. Later. Okay, just rough cutting them is just making it easier for me to will make it easier for me to get them in the paper trimmer, essentially. So. I'm excited for the next phase of this book, the decorating, adding embellishments phase, because there are so many in this collection. This collection has a ton of them. This is Halloween Night by Paper Phenomenon. It's their Halloween collection from this year, their spooky one. They have a cute one as well. Oh, nice. That's fun. That's fun to do together. Okay, so I just want to make sure that these are as big as I think they are. I think I have to take 1/8 of an inch off each side, so that, because I think right now they're the same size as the coffins. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so basically all I'm going to do now is I've got to take about 1/8 of an inch off each side. Now it's probably the easiest way to do this. I'll just use a ruler. Just gonna use a ruler and a rotary. All right. Oh, excellent. So Candy just posted in the chat that if you haven't gotten this paper yet, Kathy from Paper Phenomenon started her Black Friday sale already, and this paper is 65% off. All of her paper is 65% off. So, and today is November 10th, 2022, and presumably her Black Friday sale will run through, I think she usually does through Cyber Monday. So, you have a couple weeks, probably at least few weeks, to get your hands on this paper if you want it, or the paper that I used for the Christmas project would also be included in that, and anything else that she's got that you've had your eye on. Check it out. And all the paper is linked below if you're watching the live on YouTube. I have it in the live description, as well as if you're watching this on the YouTube playlist after the fact. It's also down there. So yeah, so I did my nails so I could start to feel more like a human person again. And also because one of the reasons I wear long nails is that I have been in the past, when stressed, a cuticle chewer and picker and whatever. And I try very hard to not let my cuticles get dry. And to avoid that. Oh, she has a new Christmas collection she showed yesterday also. So there we go. So she's got all kinds of stuff for you to check out. And having long nails helps prevent that because it's harder for me to do damage with the nail in the way. So, but that and, you know, of course I just like how they look aesthetically. It's very pleasing to me. I've always just enjoyed the artistry of it. So I've got just kind of a nice nude, but I have these flowers. So I've got some flowers. I'm gonna do a fall set next, but you know, it's always a question mark when things are gonna drop off around here. Sometimes nails last for a really long time. I'm trying a new type of nail that is supposed to be more flexible than the acrylic ones I'd been wearing. More like a gel, like a poly gel. And the more a nail flexes, typically the longer it will last. Because a lot of the issue with nail, this is for nail, same with nail polish as well. The more brittle it is, when your natural nail flexes and the regular nail doesn't, or the polish doesn't. That's why part of why gel polish lasts so much longer than regular nail polish is because gel polish is flexible. So, you know, it's just a matter of the more flexible you can make whatever you put on your nail, typically the longer your nail will last. So now I have a more flexible nail like surface that I'm painting on. These could last even longer. You can see they're already grown out a little bit. I think I put them on, did I put them on Friday? Question mark. I want to say something like that. Maybe over the weekend one day. Yep, that's a good suggestion as well, that you can cut around the clock to tuck things underneath it if you want to do that. Okay, so let's get our book. So that's that page. So now this is this page. So I'm going to put that there and that there. And so with the spider, our main thing that we're going to want to do is kind of cover to the best of our abilities all of its leg holes. We may not be able to do it exactly, so what I might do, just to make my life a little bit easier, is grab something with musical notes and just place it over the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a razor blade and scrape up the edge of this. Okay, so that it's all rough. And I'm going to be pretty rough with it. So this is a razor tool from Tonic. If you don't have a razoring tool, you can use the edge of your scissors to do this as well. But I'm going to go back and forth a little bit here. And I have my arm pushing on it, and then I'm pulling with this hand so that that keeps it taut. And I want this just to look a little raggedy and torn, okay? So, and that's not working very well. And I just feel there's a lot of humidity. So I'm just gonna kind of go at it with my scissors, just be more aggressive. Get it all kind of wrinkly and raggedy. Okay. All right, now that it's kind of, I'm actually just gonna let me tear some chunks out of it as well. Just so it's not a perfectly straight line. Okay. Let me tear a little chunk right here. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. I'm gonna use the black soot that I've been using on everything else, but I'm not gonna, you know, like re-ink it. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put this to cover the little spider bits. And if this spider ends up on it, it's not a big deal. Then we'll just look like layered spiders. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of fill in with glue just so I know where my spider legs are. That way I know where to place this to cover what I need to cover. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this thing itself. I'm just going to try and get it angled exactly right. There we go. I'm just going to... All right. Okay. Now I'm going to just clean up my desk just a little bit. Okay. All right. So now that we've got that corner cleaned up, okay, what I can do is I can just go and retrim it. And let me just get my ruler. So I'm just gonna cut like this and cut like this. Okay. And then, oops, that's just a little crooked. I'm just gonna fix it. There we go. All right, so now that very much looks like it's just part of what's going on. Okay, all right, so go around. Now we just have to decide where we want to put our spider. And I think just that much spider is enough spider. So I'm just going to ink this half of the spider. And for little spindly bits like the legs, just put it on a piece of paper and go over them so they don't tear. All right. So now I'm just gonna glue this half of the spider down. I'm gonna put glue on the spider's whole body and then on the legs. And then we will stick it down right there. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna flip it over and really burnish it. Okay, and then what I want to do is I just want to make sure that the legs that are over here are well stuck down. So I'm just going to put glue under them and hold them for a couple seconds so they don't peel up later. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your compliments so much. I'm so glad you're enjoying the process. This is my favorite part, is the decorating. The construction, I like that part too, because, you know, that's how you get a fun base to decorate. Like, it's an important part of the process in that sense, but I always love decorating the most. He's scary, isn't he? Okay, I'm gonna cut off his legs. You know, legs don't last long around these parts. So. Okay, so there we go. He is less scary with less legs. It's true. Plus, if he tried to chase you, he would just run in a circle because he only has legs on one side now. So he can never, this guy can never catch you. He would just be running in a circle. All right, so now we can, just want to check because I felt like there was an area where he wasn't really totally stuck down. Yeah. It's a little, all right, okay. So now we just need to take our ink pad and ink both of our pieces. I'm just gonna set that on the spider just for a little bit while I ink this, ink and tape this one. Okay. And then, oops, I just stuck my nail under his little ear, or whatever that is in spider anatomy. I'm not quite sure. Wouldn't call myself a spider scientist by any means. So. All right. I don't know how many people have been watching long enough to remember the cringes, as I called them. But they were, there's a type of jumping bug that is found in many of Virginia basement called a spider cricket. And spider crickets are, they look like the name. You know, they look like if you took a spider and a cricket and you put them in a horrific medical experiment and made them into a spider cricket. And people really hate them because, first of all, they're really gross. You know, like they're big and they're juicy and whatever. But the real reason people hate them is that one of their survival techniques is that they don't know which way they're going to jump when they jump. So they cannot broadcast which way they're going to jump to predators because of this. So when you're trying to catch one to take it outside, because you don't want to squish them because they're so big and juicy. So when you're trying to catch a spider cricket, it's just jumping all over the place. And once, when we lived in Virginia, Mr. Lifeguard was trying to catch a spider cricket to take it outside, and it jumped in his open mouth. So, so that was that, and so that's why we left Virginia. That was the reason. So that's why we don't live there anymore. But we had this one spider cricket that we were trying to evict for the longest time, and no matter what happened, it would just like you could never catch it. There was something about it, so we called it the cricket ninja, Crinja for short. And even one time my mom threw a paper towel over it. She thought she had it, and then when she lifted up the paper towel, the Crinja was gone. So can't catch that one. Can't catch the Crinja, the one Crinja. I know, spider crickets are super gross. They're really, really disgusting. They're really disgusting. Even if you haven't had one in your mouth, they're really disgusting. But if you have had one in your mouth, it's an extra special gross. All right, so I'm just using Miracle tape. This is a pressure-sensitive double-sided tape. What that means is that the more pressure that's put on it, the stronger the hold. There's a number of tapes in this category. ATG is in this category. Sookwang or is it not Miracle tape? What's it called? Score tape. Sookwang or score tape, depending on what country you're in. It's score tape in the U.S., Sookwang everywhere else. Redline tape. Lots of tape that's double-sided like this will get stronger the more pressure that's put on it. So what you want to do is you always want to burnish. And because this will make the tape stick down more, then what happens is it also makes the back easier to peel. All right, so now I'm just going to trim the extra tape from the edges, and I just let the tape go off the edge like this because the corners are just a little bit strange, and I want to make sure all the Coffin's corners are well stuck down. And you can't get right on the corner like you could if it was a rectangle, so I have it go over and then trim it off. So in terms of the spider, if you have an element that where most of it would get cut off and you want to keep it, just go ahead and cut it out and then move it over, and then you can keep it on your project. So I encourage multitasking. I always talk about how it's good to listen to audiobooks or watch your favorite TV shows, anything like that while you craft is great. I strongly encourage that. Or watching tutorial videos, or mults can make you feel like you're crafting with your friends. All right, I'm going to add another piece of tape here because This is just a little bit warped from all the glue, from all the different spider legs and layers and things. So I'm just going to add another little piece of tape there so that I can stick that corner down more firmly in the final project. All right, so there we go. All right, now we're going to get our coffin back over. Here we go. And we don't need any magnets on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick these down. So I think we're going to do the clock on the left and the raven on the right. Yes. Yes. That way the raven is looking into the center of the page and the spider is looking into the center of the page. So just if you can get people or animals or anything like that, anything with eyes to look into the center of your page, that always looks better than if they're looking out. So in this case, you know, the raven and the spider have their backs to each other and it just doesn't look as good. It just doesn't look as good because it doesn't draw your eye to the center of the page. So when they're like this, okay, it draws your eye to the center of the page more because everybody is looking in this direction. All right, so let's peel the tape and stick it down. All right, so I'll go ahead and stick it down, and then once you've stuck it down, give it another burnish. And we'll get to the flaps in a second. And I want them to be kind of like bright purple, I think, or orange. Oh, love that raven. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, love it. Okay. All right, so something to pull up this kind of orangish reddish color here. And there's a little bit of orange here as well. So I'm going to look for something see what we see. So I'm going to get out that stack of papers I pulled out earlier that are kind of more backgroundy, and we'll just flip through and see what we like. All right, so I'm going to flip, make it easier to flip here. Oh, this one might be a good one because we have right in this area some orange and some purple. So maybe, let's keep going. Oh, this is, here we go. Even better. That's very orange and purple. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So I think we just need it's 2 3/4 by 1 1/4, I believe. Because I think these are 3 by 1 1/2. So, but we need 4 of them. 4 of them. So what I'm going to do is just going to line this up with 1 1/2. And then just tear it at the bottom. And then what we can do is I'm just going to trim it to be 1 1/4. And the way I'm going to do that is take just a little sliver off this edge so the place where I tore it is gone, and then flip it around and cut it to 1 1/4 exactly. And then I'll take off some of the more shadowy part. And then we have this. All right, so then we're gonna do 2 3/4 inch slices. I love how these look almost like tattered embroidery or wallpaper from a crumbling Gothic mansion, you know? All these wallpaper-esque patterns in the collection. Okay. So now I'm just going to do a tape chain with these. And then we'll chomp their corners, ink them, and stick them down. So yeah, hopefully Nicole didn't do too much damage. I don't think she was that big, although it doesn't always matter. Some hurricanes can... If they stick around, that's when they're really a problem. Now, she luckily did not stick around. She kind of got in and got out. So that's what you want out of your hurricanes. It's just to get in and get out. I mean, if they're going to insist on getting in. It's better if they don't get in, but... And last night I made spaghetti and meatballs, and tonight I'm having Daytona got some damage. Yeah. The sea can do, even if the storm itself is not that powerful, the changes it makes to the sea can also do a lot of damage. So, and I mean, Tampa lost power, so like it went just kind of just north of us, but where we are, because we're just south of Tampa. So we have power. We didn't lose power, but sounds like Tampa did, or at least parts of it. So close enough. Close enough. All right, so we got those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to chomp the lighter side so that the darker side will be near the crease in the page and the lighter side will be near the edge of the flap. All right. Okay, so So we got those, and now we just ink them. Sinkholes are my, like, one of my things that's unlikely to happen to me, but I'm super afraid of happening to me. Like I guess what I would say is, like, I'm disproportionately afraid of it happening to me versus my odds of it happening to me. Sinkholes is one of those. Breaking my femur is another one. I've been afraid of breaking my femur for so many years. But it's really just, like, not a thing that happens to people all the time. So, you know, it's kind of rational. Although the way to, don't put your feet on the dashboard. That's if you, that's a good way to avoid breaking your femur. Okay. So I want to pick the two kind of, like, yeah, okay. Yeah, being without power for long periods of time is super dangerous. People don't realize it affects, like, more than just whether or not you can watch TV or have the lights on. And it's a lot of, like, life support, whether or not they can clean your, run the water treatment plant, clean your water, that sort of thing. All right, almost there. It's so funny that I was ready for Marcel and he was running around just so excited right before the show started, and I have no idea where he is right now. He was like, yeah. He is kind of sleepy right now. He's going through another growth spurt, and he is on pretty tough medication. So unfortunately, Marcel just cannot beat the ringworm. He had to go on antifungals now. So he has to take 60 antifungal pills. Luckily, Marcel doesn't mind just eating a greenie. So, you know, he's so far has not been tough to give pills to. Okay, so there we go. We've got that down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a recording break here just so, because I know last week's recording was very long. So I'm going to try and be more aware of chopping it up. So we've got these matted. So now I'll do a recording break and we'll mat the inside. So if you're watching live, just hang tight. Nothing's going to change for you. For those of you who are watching in the archives or on the YouTube playlist, just go ahead and click to the next video. If you're on YouTube and you don't see another video, it'll be posted in the next couple days. Thanks so much for watching. I'm live every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time and 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. See you next time. Bye now.